Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my two co-hosts, Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler and Kelly from NOFO Endless Summer, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. I have to crack up because today I was rushed this morning and I actually, before I started the live, took a second to look at the weather. So, because I end up giving you guys the weather report every time I come on as I wait for my co-host. So it's gray, which I can see outside, but I think there's also going to be a little bit of rain. But spring is definitely here because the temperatures have been hovering above freezing and almost 50 every day. So that's great. So even though it's gray and rainy, I'm hoping it brings some warmth. In other news, we have a guest co-host today for the very first time. Kristen Oliveri will be joining us because Kelly can't make it today. So we are... So please welcome Kristen to the show. Good morning, Kristen. How are you? I see you trying to log on, but hold on a second. Did that work now? I think it did.
Morning.
Good morning. Are you there? How are you?
I'm here. How are you?
Happy Friday. I'm so
Friday.
excited to have you on. This is like a new, this is going to be like a new Friday morning for us. Trying to figure it out all over again.
I'm thrilled.
You have your coffee. What did you do? What did you do to get ready this morning? I saw you posted your did you make that fancy coffee? Oh, I thought that
it's just the cup, which makes it look way more fancy.
I was like, wow, look at her, she's going.
Sprinkled with cinnamon.
Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Good morning.
I feel like this is like our first show because we've never had a guest co-host, so this is like, okay, how is this gonna work?
I know. This is fun. I was actually thinking as I was getting ready that like as the time has progressed, when we first started the show, I would shower before, like and now I'm like, I don't know, should I put on mascara? I don't know.
It cracks me up because I still spray perfume before I get on the show, and sometimes I'm like, nobody can smell me. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Great to be here, Sunita, Tracy, everybody. I'm happy on this Friday, and I will.
Well, we have a guest co-host today. Kelly can't be on, so Kristen is on instead of her, which is why we girls are gaggling and cracking up because we're excited to have.
Thank you for filling
Kristen on this morning. So,
hello, how's it going?
Hi, Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Nice.
All right, let's jump right in, Mike.
I am Mike Corso, and I've been going out to the North Fork since I was 5 years old. Now we spend half our time between the North Fork and Westchester. In fact, I'll be driving out today and hopefully playing at the open mic tonight at Green Hill. And we've got a great concert planned tomorrow night at Green Hill, a full 3-hour show from 7 to 10. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, music. North Fork, I call it heaven. So I am thrilled to be talking about the North Fork. If that's all you want to talk about, I'm fine. If you want to talk about music, I'm fine with that. Whatever you want to do is great.
So, Mike, this is the music is your side gig, right?
It's a strong.
So you've got your side gig in your second home.
Yeah, and it's interesting
spot,
because
right?
the band Jack Toad, it was originally moved out to the East End, so we then formed Jack Toad East. I mean, we still say Jack Toad, but I've got two. It's almost like a franchise at this point. When I'm up in Westchester on Tuesday nights, I'm playing with my guys here at an open jam in Pleasantville, and when I come out there, we're usually hitting the open mic at Green Hill on Thursday or Friday nights. And then we usually have a gig like once every few weeks between the brewery, the Greenport Brewery, Greenport Harbor Brewery. We'll be there next month, actually. Or we'll have gigs at Green Hill, or we'll play at Billy's by the Bay, or we'll play at Brick Cove Marina. So there are a lot of great places that are supporting live music right now.
So speaking of Brick Cove, I think that's the first time where I heard your music. couple of years ago, I think Slow Food East End had our annual meeting there at Brick Cove, and I know, Tracy, you're instrumental in helping them set up their beautiful space. But I think your band played that night, and it was so fun. So how would you describe your band? What kind of music do you
I
play?
describe it as, funk, blues, alt country. We do some originals, but the vibe is very much like a Rolling Stones, Santana, David Bowie. I mean, we do a lot of stuff. Van Morrison, Bowie, the band, Elvis Costello, and then a healthy mix of some funky stuff influenced by Prince and others. But yeah, we usually start off with a couple of mellow things, and then we just pick it up as the night goes on. As soon as people get up and start moving around, the whole set list adjusts to what's happening. And yeah, we have a blast. But it's very much a sort of a jam band kind of feel. Although we do while we are covering songs, we're not trying to sound just like the original recording. We're giving it our own spin.
I think Brick Cove is where I heard you first too, as well. You played at our
Yes.
Summer Swell
Love
series this
Brick
summer.
Cove is my favorite marina. Yeah.
Mike, I was just going to ask you why music? I know that's a silly question, but why?
Yeah, my parents, my dad and my mom were like Sinatra freaks. So growing up, and we'd be listening to Sinatra, big band music, Latin percussion stuff. So it was always in the house. And then I started playing trumpet when I was in 4th grade and played that through high school. And then kind of took a break from music after that for several years. And then it was after college that I just started picking up drums and guitars and keyboards. I played a little saxophone, harmonica, so I'm always like, I got my hands on whatever. But I should also give a shout out to my brother, Joe, who lives in Cutchogue. And you'll probably, if you come Saturday night, you'll see him there. He loves to get up and sing and blow his harp with us. But we shared a room. So when I was young, and I'm saying like 8, 9 years old, and the first Led Zeppelin album came out, my brother had it, and he's playing it on his little portable record player. And all I could think was, what is this noise? What are you doing? That was what was in the room. It was like that classic rock from the 60s and 70s going on. And within a couple of years, literally within a few years, the Allman Brothers was the first band I really gravitated towards. And then it was Led Zeppelin. Then it was Led Zeppelin. Then it was more Led Zeppelin. I saw them 4 out of 6 nights at Madison Square Garden in 1977, June of 1977. And really sacrificed my SAT scores to just go to that show and not study as much as I should have. Things worked out okay, but yeah, so it was in the house. And so my parents and my brother, big influence, even my sisters, Diane Carroll, they're very into music. So the whole house was just, has been humming ever since. And I've just kept that going. It's like my kids, they know every song we play, and I used to play them to sleep when they were young. I always admired a friend of mine who played guitar very well. And he would put his kids to sleep. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I should learn how to play guitar. And that's what happened. It was like, in fact, I more because I got a good story here. So
you got 30 minutes.
After 9/11, I had like a little vigil in my yard. We had a fire going. A couple of friends came over. And, so this was like 2001. And I didn't play guitar or anything. I didn't have a band, never had a band. Like I said, I grew up playing trumpet, so it was all orchestra, jazz band kind of stuff. We're sitting around this fire, and one of my friends, Ira, who's now one of my main guitar players, he's really good, and he's playing songs. My other friend, Rob, is singing to what he's playing. I'm like, wow, this is awesome that they can just like play songs, like just without even talking about what they're going to do. And that's what really got me, into getting a band, to like learn to play guitar, like not just noodling around and playing a scale or some chords, but like learning some songs and like getting together with people. So I formed a band within 2 years of that moment. And that's what I've been doing for like the past 20 years, just jamming and playing out,
Wow.
you know, whenever I can. It's just a blast. And everyone I play.
Well, I just want to say fast forward to 2022, and I saw you play at Green Hill I think it was last year, and I forget the band that Kim has.
Yeah.
Kim from the CC Marine program, I believe he has his own band, but it was open mic night, and then you guys just started jamming randomly to songs, unplanned, just, you know, so here you are talking about 2001, and it made me remember that, you know, here you are now just doing it.
That's a good segue into what I was going to just say about the friendships I've made through music. You know, Kim, I never would have met Kim, except my cousin Peter, who owns Pico Oysters. He was dealing with Kim at the Cornell Cooperative, and knew that Kim played bass guitar, and Kim, you know, makes guitars. He buys and sells guitars. So he just hooked us up. Like, I've had these introductions everywhere, but that's one of the ones I treasure that one especially, because I love music, musicians, and oysters. And Kim all together, and he's a great player. So whenever, in fact, tonight I'm gonna text him right after this call, because I know my drummer Ron is up for playing tonight, you know, a few songs. So I'll see if I can get Kim out tonight. But, you know, just made all the friends I have through music just mean so much to me. Like, they're real special people. And, you know, friends, I kind of pick and choose, but the ones that I've stuck with, you know, Barry Wiseman, I'm going to give out a shout out to Barry Wiseman, who lives in East Marion. He was in Westchester with me, with the original Jack Toad. He moved out there, and that's when we formed. Anyway, Barry just went through some serious lung surgery at Stony Brook this week, and he is doing well. And you know, it was like a little touch and go, because he had bad pneumonia, and it wasn't going away. So anyway, Barry is one of my close friends, and again, never would have met him if I didn't drop in on this klezmer band in Westchester playing Jewish music. And I go in with a conga, some percussion. I'm like, yeah, sure. I knew the guy, Kenny Green, who was running the ensemble. I said, I'll come in and play some music with you guys. I don't know what klezmer is, but ended up having a great time. Met Barry there. I said to Barry, you know, you're playing electric bass in this klezmer band. You ever want to play rock and roll? And he said, gave me a little bit of his history, and I realized, oh yeah, we should definitely get together. So that was like the start of my, you know, my Jack Toad life.
You know, Mike, I want to just back up, because, you know, I'm very musically inclined as well. And I've had very similar experiences where, you know, I've said many times, I want to be able to pick up the guitar in my backyard and just, you know, play with my daughter and, you know, hang out. But like, I've never taken it any further, right? I own 3 guitars. I just stare at them.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah, but I don't know how to
Tracy,
play
I
them.
didn't know that.
Well, put them in the
Hands off
background
your hand.
like
I
Mike
got some
does. You
space
see
on
his
the wall
guitar
somewhere.
behind him.
Yeah, you know, but so I'm just saying, like, there's, you know, you took that and then you took it further and you actually did something with it, and you're committed to doing it every single weekend. And that's really something. I mean, that's a big commitment, especially when you had this passion and you just followed it, and it took the same. Mary Tonic also has 2 guitars and a ukulele, which I'm obsessed with the sound of ukulele. So it sounds like we need.
Oh,
listen, I'm not gonna play.
Cool.
I won't play the guitar.
people.
I will sing. I'll sing. I can jump in singing anytime.
Anytime.
So
You come tomorrow night at Green Hill, and you're up there singing with us.
All right.
No, I mean, really, the one that I went to was open mic night. And like I said, I don't think Kim and Mike planned what they were going to play, and they just started jamming, and it was so fun. I mean, there were so many other. That was a great night, actually, because many musicians dropped in that night, and so they kind of had to keep moving. But I think it's great that the North Fork has such a vibrant music scene that you can go to so many places, and you know, you don't have to start out as a professional. Tracy, I really think you can jump in and do your thing.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have to hold the baby.
I'll hold the baby. I'll hold Tilly.
I would say
our fan base is filled with lots of sisters, aunts, mothers who would be happy to hold your babies while you come up and sing. And it doesn't just have to be on open mic. Like I said, tomorrow night when we play, you'll see over 3 hours, I will invite anyone to come up and sing. If they're having a good time, you know, there's no ego on the stage. It's like, just come up and do what you want to do. And sometimes it's awful, but it's fun. And then sometimes people come up and they can really, you know, belt out. The last show, we did some Elvis stuff, and this guy came up, and he was 3 sheets to the wind, and it was one of the highlights of the night. But
I like to think of myself as
Perfect.
a party starter, so I will be dancing, so other people can feel
good
more inclined.
you'll know the right time for that.
I'm here for you for that.
Yeah.
So I have a question, Mike. How
So
did you come
initially
up
it
with
was
the name for the band?
Natterjack Toad. And there is a Natterjack Toad. I was reading a book about reptiles to my son when he was in elementary school. And they talked about this Natterjack Toad, which is from the UK, and it could be heard from a mile away. It has a very loud bellow. And I said, oh, that's a cool name. That's a cool sound. And it was apropos because we would practice at my house on Wednesday nights. And one night the police came to shut us down. I had the doors open. Someone called. It's happened a few times. Every party we have, the police show up and just shut us down. But on that night in particular, he said, we heard you from a mile away down the road. And when I read that book and I saw the Natterjack, I said, oh, that's a great name for us. So, and then we just shortened it to Jack Toad. Yeah, jacktoad.com, by the way.
Nice.
And you know, please join our mailing list so you can stay up to date on where we're playing and what we're doing.
You're a true Renaissance man, Mike. I love just how you're using, you know, literature and music, and
Cool.
it just brings people together. And I feel like I gravitate towards Renaissance
You can
people.
give me,
and I know
because
Sunita
as
and
soon
Chase
as I
are
learned
as
what a
well. That's really
Renaissance
cool.
man was, I said, that's kind of what I want to be.
I gravitate towards those people. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely coming. I need to
Yeah,
find
we're
a
looking for NOFO live babysitters,
Yeah.
if anybody.
Well, like Jack said, when I went, what Jack said,
Just
like
throw
Mike said,
kids in a room.
when I went to Green Hill, he came with a full posse. Like there was a giant table of all his groupies. I'm assuming they're friends and family, so I think there'll be plenty of people. And
Good.
to
You know,
dance, so we'll
friends,
be fine.
family, and hopefully with you guys, you'll spread the word, and we'll just keep packing that place. Because you know, really, very seriously, what Christoph is doing at Green Hill, I really admire, and Brick Cove Marina. You know, that they're opening up and making their places available for live music and supporting it. You know, these are not money-making ventures for these places, but they're just looking to, you know, create a culture, an environment of creativity, and I really just can't say enough for you know, Green Hill especially. I mean, they have stuck with it even during the pandemic. As soon as the pandemic kind of eased up, they just said, let's get people back in here playing music, and even if there were 3 people in the room. And by the way, one night I showed up months ago. I don't know if you remember, it was a Friday night and it was like 6 degrees and the wind was blowing. It was the coldest night of the winter. And I'm driving out there, and I was very awake, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to see if there are any other, you know, maniacs who are showing up at Green Hill. I go in there were like 3 musicians and 2 people sitting in the audience at a table, this couple. And I see this one guy who I never met before. He plays guitar. So I said, you know, let's get up and play. We had the best time that night. We played for this couple for 30 minutes and just did anything we knew together. And it was really special. And you just don't have those experiences unless.
That sounds great. So let's talk about the North Fork. So we obviously know your favorite marina is Brick Cove. We know your favorite open mic night is Green Hill. But if you were going to take us to lunch or dinner, where would you take us out? I wouldn't take you out.
I would cook for you. I would do a big seafood. I would do a big Thai coconut curry seafood dish, and I would probably serve you some awesome tequila drinks. So I'm kind of a mixologist. I boast that I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I have a couple of great books. One of them is called Shake, by the way. If you're ever looking for a good drink recipe book, Shake. Look for that. But yeah, I would cook for you and serve you.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming
Be
music will be
involved.
involved somehow.
There's guitars out, there's congas out, there's, you know, we're always going to be playing something. But if I have to,
Tracy, I think you need to bring your guitar when we go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I have to dig it out of the closet behind all of Tilly's stuff, but it's
See,
in
that's
there.
the problem. You don't have it up front and center. You know how when they talk about the vision board, you can't shove it in the closet.
I know.
If you want more music in your life, bring that guitar, put it by your front door.
Well, at the current moment, I don't want anything more in my life. Right? Okay.
I feel
So
too.
maybe
I
when
Tracy,
she's
come
in
on, I feel
school, we'll
by the way,
revisit
Tracy, here's a
the
tip,
conversation.
and for anyone who plays guitar, if you are learning or you just want to get better, you go to YouTube and you type in whatever song you want to play and then backing tracks. And it'll bring up backing tracks for whatever that song is, meaning it's going to strip out the guitar and you'll be able to play and solo over. Or you can just say like a blues in A backing track. And you get to play like that pentatonic scale, you know, over and over. And that's a really great way to learn and be able to improvise with people when you're, you know, together with other musicians.
Are you offering lessons, Mike?
But if you want to come over and, you know, I'll cook for you and spend an hour and show you a few things, happy to do it.
He's offering mentoring. He's offering mentoring on how to come be a part of a band.
I like.
Yeah.
I love that. I have to give you credit, Mike, because like we talked at the top of the show, you are doing a full-time job and you are doing your thing, but somehow you found the time and the commitment because you not only play on the North Fork, you also play in Westchester. So you drive back and forth and excuse me, and play as much as you can. That's awesome. That's great inspiration for someone that's looking to, you know, jump in. You said you like to cook, so I'm assuming you would swing by some local farm stands as well on the North Fork. So what are your go-tos?
My latest discovery, one I just found in the fall, is KK's in Southold. My God, I love that. What's his name? Myra?
Yep.
Ira, yes.
Well, you know, it may not have like what Wickham's has out on in Orient on the main road, but on the North Road, but it just has such a wonderful vibe. And you know, it's a sad story. He lost his wife several years ago and they built this thing together. But if you haven't been there, I think once a month he does like a kind of a some of the stuff they have there. But in the barn upstairs, he's got this wonderful room. He had wood burning stoves up there, couches, and it's just like such a great experience for anyone in the North Fork looking for something really cool, really chill, and you know, and to just chat with Ira. He's just a great guy.
Yeah.
He was doing a festival for a while.
They're doing a Dandelion Festival on April 30th.
Yes.
On April 30th. Yeah, hopefully they'll be on the show to talk about that. But yes, every year they do. I think they missed maybe a year or so in the pandemic. But it's really cool. They celebrate the dandelion and they spend the whole day having educational programming and, you know, information about how to use every single part of the dandelion. It's great. Yeah, it's very earthy, organic farm. Yes.
Yeah. That's neat.
So,
Mike, I was going to ask you your top three.
Highway Star by
without,
Deep Purple on the Made in Japan live album. Highway Star, Deep Purple. I'm going to have to say Matthew Sweet, Girlfriend. And then I've got to give a Led Zeppelin song. So I'll just like give you all 100 of my favorite. No, I'll pick one. Misty Mountain Hop is a great song by Led Zeppelin.
all right, that was actually an easy question, huh?
I can't believe you threw those out there. Like I would not be able to pick favorites.
I know it's hard.
You wanted an answer, so I had to give you something. But
can't
really,
think,
I don't
like whatever. Just
I
like
literally have like 500 songs that I can't live without. So.
Yeah, like it.
Love it.
So we know you go to the brewery. We know you go to Greenport Brewery, but do you ever hit up any wineries?
Croteau
And if so,
Vineyards
what's
in
your
Southold.
go-to?
I think that is the coolest. I feel like I'm in France whenever I go there. It is just beautiful. But because of where we live, it's easy for me to walk to Contra Costa, which is a nice big barn on the Sound. But yeah, I'm more of a Guinness beer drinker, so I'll go to the brewery, Greenport Harbor Brewery, and you know, a shout out to Rich Vandenberg. He supports live music as well. They always have great live music.
Oh yeah,
and they make a great Black Duck Porter, which is kind of like So yeah,
They do. That's our favorite there.
I love how we gotten to the point where we can say the brewery and everyone knows we mean Greenport Harbor Brewery. So shout out to that.
Whether it's the original location in Greenport or the bigger brewing location, Prconic.
Yeah. You actually really do, because I can't remember who I was meeting, but I was meeting someone at some point, and we went to opposite locations. That happened when we played. The band played at the brewery in the fall, and I told my keyboard player who was coming down from Westchester at the brewery, and he goes out to Greenport, and he's like looking around. He goes, "This can't be where we're playing." And he finally calls us up, and I felt bad. Then he had to turn around and drive the 8 miles back, but. Yeah, you have to let people know which one you're talking about. But they have a nice tasting room at the small location in Greenport. Jail, which
next to the jail.
Yeah,
I mean, they should rent that out.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be.
Yeah.
They definitely should do something with that old building. It looks beautiful. All right, so you're closer to Greenport and Orient. So where do you go to catch either sunrise or sunset? And what you go to?
Sunrise, right from our house, we see a beautiful sunrise coming up over Bug Light, the lighthouse out in Gardiner's Bay. And equally, my sister has a house on the Sound in Greenport, high up on the bluff, and the sunsets there. You could tell me there might be a better one somewhere else in the world, and I will just not even listen to you. Photos, by the way. I comment occasionally, but seriously, like, you just have an eye and a talent for capturing just beautiful scenery, and you'll place things. I saw that little boat you put on.
Well, I walked out every day for a sunset because it's in my backyard. And sometimes I feel like I need to amuse myself. So before I walk down, I look around the house going, maybe I'm taking this to play along today. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think Mother Nature does all the work. And it's incredible how different and beautiful every single sunset is. Sometimes it's gray and yet it's beautiful. And other times jaw-droppingly red and orange. I feel like I'm sitting in a bowl covered with all this beauty of, from the orange and red glow. So
Fun fact, if you are Sunita's friend IRL in real life, you have to make your plans with her around the sunset, or at least incorporate a sunset in your plans, because
and if I skip a sunset for something I'm doing for you, I'm making sure I'm letting you know that I found that kid when Tilly was born. I went to go see her, and I made sure I let Tracy know that I'm giving up a sunset to see Tilly, but it's important.
Yes, that's true.
Hey, listen, I love my life, so I'm good with it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Mike. We usually close the show with asking our guests why they love being a part of the North Fork community.
Oh, it's heaven.
Sum that up for us in a couple words?
It's heaven. I mean, all you have to do is drive out to Orient State Beach Park and bike or run that causeway, that strip out there for 2 miles, and look on both sides. You don't see that. It's unique. And then you get to the parking lot, and then you got another 2-mile path that takes you out to Long Beach, and you see Bug Light right there. So it's just nature. It's the beauty of it. The water, sailing. I mean, that's why I love the North Fork, and the people are very cool. So.
thank you so much, Mike, for joining us. Real quickly, tell us where you're playing again this week.
So again,
and
probably
what's
going to
coming up
drop
for
in
you.
at the
Where are you
open
playing?
mic tonight at Green Hill, which is from, in the winter, they do it from 6 to 9, then it'll be 7 to 10 in the season. But 6 to 9 tonight, I'll probably show up there around 7. But then tomorrow night, we have a big gig. I got a 7-piece band, like lights out, sax player, keyboard player, percussionist. My friend Eddie Torres from Puerto Rico is going to slam it down. Like, this is one of those shows where no matter what you think you're going to be playing, you stop and have breaks and say, you take a solo for as long as you want to go right now, because everyone's having a great time. So that's tomorrow night at Green Hill from 7 to 10. And then our next planned gig is at the Greenport Harbor Prconic on April 22nd. That's an afternoon. That's from 3 to 6. And that's all I can remember right now.
And you have all this on Jack Toad. Is it Jack Toad Rocks?
Yeah,
That's your Instagram, and the
jacktoad.com,
website is,
which will link you over to our Facebook and our Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. This was so fun. I'm sure we definitely have to take you up on the cooked food idea. But more importantly, the guitar lesson and the singing jamming.
I don't know who else is watching.
Wait, what about Kelly? What do you mean you three?
Yeah.
What about Kelly?
Yeah. And Kelly.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. You need to make it happen, okay?
There's food on there.
Sounds good. Somebody's asking where is Green Hill. Green Hill Kitchen is right in the heart of Greenport on Front Street. I was going to say Main, but it's on Front Street. So yeah, you can find them there.
By Aldo's Coffee.
Can't miss it.
Oh, there you go. Can't miss it. Well, thank you again, everyone.
Thanks
this
a lot.
was so
Take
fun.
care.
See you guys next Friday. Take
All
care.
right.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.
Bye. Take care.